In this video, I want to share with you interview tips for 2022. I imagine that you have created this amazing resume, and this resume itself gets you calls. Are you free? Can you come down for an interview? So now you're getting plenty of job offers. So now when you get the job offer, you obviously want to do well. So now what are some of the tips? One thing I can assure you, almost everyone who I've met feel and assume that they are amazing at a job interview. All of them feel, man, if I just get one chance, I'll nail it at the interview. I admire the confidence. The fact of the matter is, if you're that good at communication, you wouldn't need an interview to be selected. People who talk to you and offer you jobs. People always you call it the Dunkirk effect, I think. People assume that they are smarter than what they actually are. Anyway, I tell people, listen, you want to know how good you are at an interview, take your own video, listen to yourself, and you'll find out how good you are or not so good you are. So now, these are the 5 interview tips I'll give you, which will add on to your skills. So, let me know what do you think of these 5 tips. The first one. At an interview, always remember, it's not about you. This is a mistake people do. They have an interview where they speak about themselves, how great they are, how amazing they are, their experience. Fine. Yes, the interview is asking, tell me something about you, or strengths, weaknesses, what do you think about this? Give me an example of your leadership skills, or where did you achieve something? He's asking you about you, but the fact is it's not about you. Then what is the fact? Fact is, you need to answer with every question that is asked. What does he want? What is he seeking for? See the difference, huh? One is you talk about yourself, and the second one is where you talk what he wants. Now, to make sense of this, when you're applying for a job, what is the most important thing for you? Apart from getting the job confirmation, it is the salary, right? You don't care about anything else. You want a good, attractive salary. That's why you work. Okay? What do you think the employer wants? Employer wants, okay, I'm paying this guy salary, but I want the best return on investment. I want the best talent money can buy. Okay, it's more like you're buying a product. You get the best price for the product with the maximum features. Example, an iPhone is $1,000, say the spec'd up iPhone. If you're getting for 900 or 800 brand new, you'll grab it. So, but if you're going to pay $1,000 for a $1,000 phone, there should be some reason, right? And that is why some brands, if they give you a phone for $1,000, they'll give you free headphones, free bag, free, accessories. So that adds value. So even with you, every answer that you give should not be, oh, I studied here. Oh, I completed this. Oh, this was the first job. No. What do you think the employer is seeking for? That's the first question you need to ask yourself. And based on the answer that you get, that is what you should say. Now, not every employer is seeking for the cheapest and best. Not every employer is seeking for, oh, I want an amazingly talented guy. And it's different for different job profiles. I can't outline all the job profiles, but I can definitely tell you an accountant, finance guy is different from a sales guy. Okay, so in the same way, every position, higher, medium, at the intermediate, at the lower level, or different career paths, have different job profiles, have different requirements. So first one is, what does the employer want? Second one is, every answer that you give, okay, it should have the 3 I's. What are the 3 I's? Number one, it should be intriguing. By intriguing, it should be like, wow, tell me more. Number two, it should be interesting. Interesting is, wow, he just wants to listen to everything that you have to say. He's just like in love with you. And number three is informative. Fine, you're good at telling a story, you're good at piquing his interest, but in the end, it should have substance, right? It should have content, right? Okay. So it should have these 3 I's. So remember, first one is intrigue, second one is interest, third one is information. Okay? So every answer of yours, structure it in this way. Number 3, you have to make sure that every question you ask, see, he'll ask a series of questions. When he takes a CV, okay, tell me something about yourself. Base means he just wants you to start talking so he can dig out something, or he didn't have time to go through your CV and he just says, okay, tell me something about yourself. So as he's scanning, and now people make the mistake, oh, okay, he asked me, tell me something about yourself. I practice this at home. Okay, my name is so-and-so. I studied here. I come from this town, small town. I completed my education here, and I started my career with this. And they go on rattling. I can assure you this much, the employer is not even bothered. Okay, you ask him after half an hour or 15 minutes, what did I say? He'll not even remember. I can challenge you on this. So, how should the answers be? You should keep this in mind. Every answer should be why. It should answer this question, why should I take you? Because he has this question back of his head. Shit, when I'm sitting here, I call this guy. I want to finish the interview fast. Why the hell should I take this guy? Because the HR manager or the director or even the owner is asking, okay, I don't know this guy. He has written so much. Why should I take him? What is the answer? So every answer that you give should have the element of, why should you take me? So obviously don't repeat the same phrase, or don't say the same thing. I achieved the highest sales in my this thing. No. You need to have different examples, different phrases, different characteristics of yours peppered throughout the conversation, where you say it in a tactful way. And that is a training that I give when I ask people, okay, insert this in this introduction. He's asking about your weakness. You know, when they ask you about your weakness, people give their hidden strength. Oh, my weakness, I work so hard that I literally sleep in the office, I don't go home. Why are you giving a hidden strength? He asked you for your weakness. So obviously, what will you say? You can't say, I'm lazy. So every answer that you give should be answering his question, why should I take you? Interview tip number 4 for the year 2022 is always have a FOMO, fear of missing out. See, why do people invest in cryptocurrencies or invest in, oh, sheesh, man, this is a golden opportunity to make money. Okay. In the same way, when they have candidates who come in for interviews, if you're one of those candidates who, okay, I'm seeking for a job, and he'll be like, okay, fine, I'll get back to you. Because he knows you'll wait for 2-3 months or 1 month. He knows there's no hurry. But what if you're one of those candidates, he feels like, sheesh, I might not get this guy. Someone will scoop him up. He will not take the risk of losing you, because it's very hard to get the right people. I'll give you an example. When I was working as a marketing manager for a switchgear company, I was close to the owner. We were taking interviews for secretary. So among, many people were there. This old lady came there. Old lady means in the sense she was in her 50s. She's not young. Almost every other candidate was 20s, 30s. She was 55, I think, 50 or 55. She really very elegant, very poised, great experience. My boss, that time, is my boss those days, he wanted to offer a salary of 2,000. That was his budget. For 2,000, he would get a basic secretary. But when he saw her, automatically he knew that this female would not work for 2,000 because she had multinational experience. So he asked her, instead of saying, what do you expect? With all other candidates, we told this is the package. But with her, he asked her, what are you expecting? So she said, somewhere in the range of 8. Now imagine, you're ready to pay 2, she's asking for 8. So my boss said, okay, fine, we'll get back to you. Okay? So when we were sitting and discussing, the boss said, see, she has asked for 8. She'll settle down for 6, most probably. But we'll try to negotiate for 4. And you'll not believe, the first person whom we called was her. We didn't call anyone else, called her and said, okay, we can offer you 4. She straight away said no. We asked, how much are you looking for? No, 8, and back and forth. And she, as he rightly predicted, she wanted the minimum range at 6. But just look at the whole process. Among everyone else, where we didn't bother to call, she was the only one they called immediately the next day, because the fear of missing out was there. Anyway, I'm sure you want to know the results, whether we took her or didn't. Anyway, you put the comment below. Do you think that we took her or we didn't take her in the end? It'll be fun. Let's see how smart are you at guessing. Okay, so fear of missing out. And last, if not the least, the final interview tip for 2022 is this: nobody prepares. See, towards the end of the interview, they always ask, do you have any questions? People generally ask, okay, what is the vision for the company? Some bullshit question they ask. Where do you think I would be in the next 5 years? Or how do you train people? Or don't ask all that bullshit, man. Come on. Nonsense. People like to act like, oh, I'm a management professional. What is the vision for the next 10 years? That bum himself who's asking you the interview doesn't himself know if he or her will have the bloody job after 1 year. Vision of 10 years. See, one is, when they ask you a question, obviously you should ask some smart questions. Based on every profile, I tell them what to ask. That is one. The second one is, yes, you should ask a question. The second one is, people never prepare for the close of sale. It's called the close of sale. What do you say at the end that cements the deal? Okay? And one additional, what I do as insurance policy, I train the candidates who I take an interview with to give the emotional close. Now, what is the emotional close? I'll explain. When you're buying a car, every car, the salesman will give you, okay, it's horsepower, it's RPM, it's features, electronic, this, that. But people, when they buy a car, they don't buy it for the RPM, the horsepower. They buy it because there's an emotional feeling to it. Oh, the Mustang, oh, the red machine, it goes this way. Or the Harley, there's that emotional attachment. Try convincing an hardcore Apple user to use a Windows laptop. Even if you give the best Windows laptop, a hardcore Apple user will only have passion for Apple. Ask a Samsung user who likes Android or, okay, switch over to Apple. They'll be like, yuck, man, why should I even go for it? So always keep in mind, people have emotions. Emotions override logic. That is why some of the smartest people in this world, even businessmen, billionaires, they make the mistake of marrying the wrong person because emotions override logic. So now when you are going to end the interview, what is your emotional response? Now that doesn't mean you tell them, oh, my mother is sick, oh, I'm going to die. Don't do all that. Or don't tell the guy, I love you so much, oh, you remind me of my father. He's not going to fall for it. You need to engineer an emotional trigger that makes them want to deal with you. Obviously, I'm not going to give you all the tricks. I can't give you everything, right? Otherwise, why the fuck should you even come to me? But at least be grateful I've told you what it is. So remember, towards the end of the interview, the final, last question, when they say, do you have any more questions? Or do you like to ask us anything? One is ask the question, but don't ask this stupid question like, what is the vision and where do you see yourself? Or ask common sense stuff. Second one is practice the close of sale before ending to cement the deal, to make sure that they remember you, that they want to definitely, they should be inclined to want to give you the offer, or at least consider you before finalizing. And last but not the least is the emotional response. I'll tell you, if you do all these three perfectly, I can challenge you on this. Unless the candidate who you're competing with is miles apart or is absolutely amazing, with everything else being same, mostly they will call you, or they'll at least call you to finalize. So anyway, these are the 5 interview tips which will help you succeed in 2022. See, I have been working with clients for 20 years plus. We practice every word, every sentence. And it's, even the interview process is not a casual affair, it is hard work. Everything is hard work. The resume, the marketing, the networking, the interview. I've had people who, when we practice for the interview, they have cried because I've literally pushed them against the wall. But because I've made them train so hard, when they go for the interview, it's a breeze. It's like, these fighters, when they train, they sweat and they puke and they vomit and it's so tough. But if they train like that, on the day of the actual event, they'll do amazing. Like Usain Bolt. He says the toughest part in the race is not the race. It's hardly 9 seconds. It's the 4 years of training, the grind, which kills me. So in the same way, if you practice with your heart and soul, on the day of the interview, I can challenge you. You'll ace. Not only ace, every interview you go, they will offer you a job. They'll give you an offer. Come on, man. A tattooed guy like me, if I could succeed and make money, even though I didn't wear a suit and tie, even though I was a school dropout, I did it right. Why can't you? Much better. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Agree, disagree, and let's take it on from there. All right? Put your comments and thoughts down. I'll just read them. It's me signing off. I hope this series helps you. Let me know if you want more videos like this. Okay, you guys take care. It's me signing off.